Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's another fine day here in Kisumu. I was in Migori County the whole of today. You guys will excuse me a bit. Last week and this week have been running up and down, but I hope you guys will understand. Last week was a very interesting week for President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy as far as their political marriage is concerned. William Ruto refused to shake the hands of his deputy on 3 occasions last week. In response, William Ruto also refused to receive President Uhuru Kenyatta when he arrived in Nyeri for the burial of the former president, Mwai Kibaki. Usually what's normally happening is that whenever the president is visiting a place and his deputy is there, the person who should be receiving him is his deputy. In Othaya, William Ruto arrived and headed straight to his seat. President Uhuru Kenyatta arrived later. He didn't receive him. He was just sitting on his seat. And again, yesterday, there was Labor Day celebrations in Nairobi. Again, William Ruto boycotted that event. And President Uhuru Kenyatta used the occasion, the Labor Day celebration, to launch an attack on his deputy. He accused his deputy of sabotage and absconding his duties and challenged him that he ought to have resigned a long time ago. Of course, it was not the first time the president was asking his deputy to resign. And in his typical fashion, William Ruto responded to President Uhuru Kenyatta. I want us to look at the response and the objectives why William Ruto responded to President Uhuru Kenyatta. Because remember, William Ruto has always avoided direct confrontation with his boss. Now, this is the tweet he tweeted. Sorry, my boss. I feel your pain. You can feel the tone of the statement. I can feel your pain. Those you assigned my responsibilities and projects in quote mzee have let you down miserably. So in this case, those he assigned is Fred Matiang'i and Raila Odinga as his projects. They bungled our big four, killed our party, and wasted your second term. Wao ni bure kabisa. Boss, I'm available. Just a phone call away. Sadly, last cabinet was 2 years ago. Yule number 2. The only statement I don't agree with the DP here is that the last cabinet took place 2 years ago, which means previously there were cabinet meetings which he was attending and which Raila was not attending, but is heaping some of these blames on Raila Odinga. And my understanding of this tweet is that William Ruto, because I want us to look at why William Ruto had to respond this way. My understanding is that the Deputy President, William Ruto, number 1, is invoking the memory of Executive Order number 1 of 2019. If you remember that executive order, President Uhuru Kenyatta transferred all the functions which were previously being performed by William Ruto and assigned them to Matiang'i. The reason the president did that was that the deputy president by that time had absconded his duties and was focusing more on his 2022 campaigns. And I remember President Uhuru Kenyatta asking his deputy to stop those early campaigns, but he continued with them. The other thing which is coming out from this tweet clearly is that the handshake between President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga did not sit down well with the deputy president. And it's reminding President Uhuru Kenyatta that the guy your project Mzee. And the deputy president is going further to mention Big Four agenda. You know, Jubilee government collapsed the economy between 2013 and 2017. They promised Big Four agenda. So when President Uhuru Kenyatta took over power, he realized that indeed they had done nothing. The project which Itumbi was flouting on online, the project which William Ruto had actually launched, were ghost projects. So there was no need for the president to continue with the Big Four agenda when what they promised Kenyans to do in the first term were actually ghost. So the president decided that instead of coming up with a new agenda, let me try and complete the projects which were never done. And that's why you are seeing a lot of activities. In fact, at some point, President Uhuru Kenyatta was told was focusing more on some of those particular projects. William Ruto is also crying over the collapse of Jubilee Party and is reminding President Uhuru Kenyatta because it was the Jubilee government collapsed, the party collapsed. So it's like, where do I come in all this? And from this tweet, we also learn a very important aspect that the last cabinet meeting in this country was conducted 2 years ago. My understanding probably is that either William Ruto is not invited to these cabinet meetings, or if they happen, he's not attending. I don't know, but my understanding is that cabinet meetings should actually be happening. Why would President Uhuru Kenyatta not hold cabinet meetings? That's another important thing, probably because there were some elements who allied to the deputy president who would then give the president, who would then give the deputy president anything which was discussed in those meetings, and therefore the president decided, I'm not going to hold any cabinet meetings. But why would the DP respond to President Uhuru Kenyatta the way he has done? Because previously, William Ruto avoided any direct confrontation with the president. But now we are seeing a bold deputy president coming out and challenging the president. If you read this tweet, there's a part here saying, I'm available, just a phone call away. My understanding is that I'm available, just a phone call away. It means that these two gentlemen, they don't even call each other. That's the truth. Almost 2 years, President Uhuru Kenyatta has never called his deputy. Otherwise, if they are calling each other, why would he tell us that it's just phone call away? But why do you think the deputy president at this hour is not responding to President Uhuru Kenyatta? Number one, in my view, I think William Ruto fear losing Mount Kenya. Mount Kenya is currently under his grip. If Uhuru Kenyatta were to continue with whatever he was telling the DP, President Uhuru Kenyatta was going to gain some sympathy down there. So the truth is, he's not transferring the blame to none other than President Uhuru Kenyatta. He's telling the president, what about the guy you gave my responsibility? What about your project, Mzee? So he's trying to run away, or is trying to transfer those blames, because President Uhuru Kenyatta made it very clear that he's going to tell Kenyans some truths. And I think in his strategy, William Ruto is not going to allow President Uhuru Kenyatta to say something or anything without responding. So if Uhuru were to continue with this path and the deputy president is not responding, I am sure President Uhuru Kenyatta's allies were going to pick some of those lines and they were going to form part of the agenda. Because remember, President Uhuru Kenyatta was yesterday in Nairobi. While he was in Nairobi, Raila Odinga was holding a meeting in Nyeri. So which means the message the president was passing was actually also directed to those people who are attending Raila Odinga's meeting. So that's important. Number two, I also think that William Ruto is keen on dissociating himself from Jubilee failures. The truth of the matter is that the cost of living in this country has gone so high and most people can no longer afford. I want to give you a story. Just when was this? Last week, I went to buy a packet of milk. I've been buying it at 600 bob. that pack of 12. You know, I gave the guys 1,000 and they gave me a change of 100. So basically, the cost has changed from 600 to 900 in a span of, I think, less than 3 months. So that's how hard the economy is. Cooking oil, which was retailing, I think, at 900, has gone to around 700. I mean, 1,700 or 1,500. I can't remember. Some of these things, if you compare to when Kibaki was the president, they were affordable. So the cost of living has gone so high, salaries has remained largely the same. So Kenyans are very bitter with the cost of living, they're very bitter with the government, and they're very bitter with anybody. So William Ruto is trying to run away from those responsibilities, from those failures. And that's why he's reminding Uhuru that you decided to go for Matiang'i. Why don't you blame Matiang'i? You decided to go for Raila Odinga. Why don't you go for Raila Odinga? The only thing I don't understand with the DP is why he's so quick to take credit for success. If Fred Matiang'i took his responsibility and ensured that roads which were not completed are completed, projects which were taking unnecessary time to complete are completed, why is he taking credit for that? He should actually transfer all those credits also to Fred Okengo Matiang'i. The other thing William Ruto is trying to do with this tweet is that he's trying to avoid a situation where the people of the larger Mount Kenya region will view him as someone who sabotaged President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Because Uhuru Kenyatta is now coming out to his people, he's telling them that this guy here telling you these things was with me, instead of coming to me because there's this issue, he feels we should do it this way. He decided to go to the public. He decided to go to barazas. He decided to go to rallies. So basically, in William Ruto's mind, he's trying to avoid a situation where the voters in the larger Mount Kenya region are going to blame him for sabotaging President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And lastly, I also tend to think that what the DP is trying to do is trying to appeal to the emotions of the people of the larger Mount Kenya region. That when I was with this guy, we were able to achieve A, B, C, D. By doing that, he hopes that the voters in the larger Mount Kenya region are going to be very bitter with the president. And probably any gain which Raila Odinga might have gained in the region will be cancelled. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. Thank you, guys. Tomorrow, we will be here for serious analysis. Serious analysis beginning tomorrow. We want to go to the original. Thank you, guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.